Hey, look at that. Just on time. Kerry, you brought on someone you grew up with who just happened to have wandered into being a really cool ass band. What the hell happened?
First of all, Kate Murdoch was always cool, and I knew she was going to do something cool. I just didn't know what the something would be. As it turns out, she's done many cool things, one of which is to be the guitarist in the band Sidewalk Driver. Another cool thing she did was a duck boat tour that I brought my kid on, and I was so excited because I was finally going to get to have my kid drive the boat. We'd never been picked for that. And he promptly fell asleep. So we missed our chance to drive the boat. But that's not what anybody's here to hear about. It's just still on my mind after all these many years. So we've got Tad and Kate from the very popular Boston band Sidewalk Driver. They've opened for Bon Jovi. Now I guess we're opening for them.
TD Garden, I saw them in, which is crazy. I didn't see them. I watched the video of them. And we'll just do the show.
Hi everyone, Tim Kitzrow from NBA Jam and NFL Blitz, welcoming you to The Backpack Show. Your hosts, Chris Brogan, Kerry Gorgone, Boom Shakalaka.
Backpack Show. All right, I looked at Butterscotch, the world champion beatbox person. How about you?
Yeah, same. That's so funny. Usually it's different, but today it was Butterscotch for both of us.
Well, before we have our guest in, I'm going to say hi to Joanne. I'm going to say hi to Jackie. Hello to Leslie. And I imagine my pup and Chloe will be coming by really soon. But let's grab ourselves one Kate and one Tad and put them in this game. There we go. Sidewalk Driver, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Hey.
Thanks for having us.
I don't know why he says it like that. I don't. So, all right, I have so many questions and I don't even know where to start. First of all, Kate, you and I grew up together. We were kind of diagonal next door neighbors. And I had no idea at the time, how big you were going to become. It would not have changed my behavior at all because I was a stupid kid. But tell me what it's like. Tell me how what's basically a private joke between duck boat drivers turns into a band. A really successful band that's still rocking after 22 years.
Well, first of all, we are not famous. We are not. I'd like to lead with that. Successful, of course, is relative. I think it's a success that we're still playing, that we still like each other,
that people still want you to. They're not telling you to stop.
People still show up. Yeah, we can still draw a crowd in Boston, which is fantastic. We have great fans, and we still really enjoy it. We're not dragging ourselves through it just out of some sense of obligation. So in that sense, we are a huge success. It's definitely not something a lot of bands can say, that they're still playing 20 plus years later. But as far as me, I don't feel remotely big or famous because I'm literally not. So that part's easy. I don't have to keep myself grounded. We were actually talking last night about when we opened for Bon Jovi, and then after the show, AJ, our drummer, was talking about this really strange whiplash feeling. We were there at the Garden. It's this massive room with thousands and thousands of people. We've just met John Bon Jovi and his bandmates and ate lobster in the green room. It was not Maine lobster, just to be clear, but it was still a shellfish. It was some other shellfish. They called it lobster.
From New Jersey, no good lobster.
Yeah. But anyway, we're getting the star treatment. It was really cool. And then AJ's sitting on the orange line heading home, looking around at all these people who have no idea that he just, opened for one of the biggest bands in the world. So, it's easy to stay humble.
Hey, I feel like
he could have taken the limo with me, but the limo was too full of groupies for AJ to fit. So yeah. In the hot tub in the back was sloshing around. It was kind of nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, put the rubies in the hot tub, you could have fit them. I'm just saying. You're selfish.
That's true.
So, yeah. So I have more questions, but Chris, do you have questions? Because you're a music nerd. So let's just get it out of the way.
Well, I mean, I was thinking about the fact that, like, if you think of what a Sidewalk Driver show can and sometimes is, it's like David Bowie meets Queen with the little cars, I don't know, Gaga and Cheap Trick thrown in top of it. And Bon Jovi, for reasons, said to some booker, right? You know, it's not like John and Richie are back there going, who should we? You know, they don't have like a CD full of your music. How did that even come about? Or like, how weird was it? Like, how was the crowd liked you? I got to imagine, because you still are alive, and Boston does not do well with opening bands. So, like, how did it go? Like, how did they pick? What was that part like?
Well, you know, John Bon, as we can call him now. You know, he likes to always he does a really cool thing where he likes to pick local openers for his shows instead of touring with the band. You know, he likes to go to each town and pick a local person. And you know, he's great like that. John Bon and I go way back now, but it was really, you know, the easiest way to describe it was they kind of put out the feelers that they were looking for a band. So they contacted some, you know, local promoters, and it was basically just like, we had fans in the right places, I guess is the best way to put it. So our name was kind
and
of
the cat tunes like weren't available, or
I think they were busy, but yeah, so we just kind of, you know, it was just really just that the right people kind of thought about us and thought that we were up for the task. And, you know, it was, again, just that having fans is great.
And that was a weird full circle moment, right? Because Tad told me after the fact that my audition, which I didn't realize was an audition for the band, when Tad was sort of thinking about putting a band together, we were hanging out and I started playing, you know, he's like, let's play some music. So I started playing Wanted Dead or Alive. And then we started singing it. I was singing the Richie harmonies, and unbeknownst to me, Tad's like, that could work. And then we even played a Bon Jovi song at Jared's wedding, our lead guitarist. And that, you know, it's sort of at first seemed like an odd fit, and yet there are a lot of commonalities, like a lot of vocal harmonies and big guitars and stuff. So it worked. It was a very strange, surreal moment to be in that room. It was awesome.
So you got roped into it, like how I got roped into doing the backpack show, is what it sounds like.
Oh, is that how that happened?
Yeah, Chris had asked me, would I help produce the show? Because I knew all the people at the time he was interviewing, and I was like, sure, thinking I'll be like backstage putting up banners and stuff. And the first day I'm sitting there in my comfies, because it's early for me. I was in Nashville at the time, and he like pulls me out front. I have no makeup on. I look like butt. And I was like, oh, okay. So since then I've co-hosted it. It's been more than 5 years. So I don't know when
you just didn't mention
my
it.
contract.
You kept doing it, and you're like, I guess I'm doing this.
I guess what I'm doing. So no, it's amazing time. So Tad, how did you know? How did you know Kate was the one for this role?
Well, it was a couple things. First of all, I had been, you know, wanting to put an original band together, and so I wanted to have two guitar players, and I had one of my very good friends was going to be one of them, but I knew that I couldn't go to him with this idea unless I had the whole band ready. Like, he would only want to do it if he had to do none of the work setting it up. So, and I knew I wanted to have someone who could sing harmony with me, and which you know, I have a pretty high voice, so I knew it had to be someone that could like sing higher than I could. So Kate and I met when we were training at the Duck Tours, and you know, which was a lot of real shitty days. Can I say shitty on this?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
I mean, Kate and I couldn't say it when we were growing up, but you're welcome to say it now. We're like,
if shitty's bad, I won't say shitty again. If shitty is not good, then I'll stop saying shitty. Like,
because it would be shitty to continue.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure.
My mom is probably watching this, Tad. Just keep that. You look out what you look.
Hi, Gay. It turned out great.
She doesn't like when we play Blue. So yeah, it was. I remember we'd talked, and Kate had mentioned to me that she had played for a friend's wedding. She'd played and sang at a friend's wedding. And I thought, you know, if someone has the confidence, she didn't seem like a fool to me. Like, she didn't seem like someone who had any kind of like disillusionment. So I thought, well, if she feels confident enough that she can play at someone's wedding, that probably means that she's like good, you know? And then I remember this image. We were out on the Charles River in a World War II duck, and it was April and cold and rainy. And Kate, who's a very competent boat captain, was on the hood of the duck as we were going through our towing exercises. And she was wearing full sou'wester gear, like that I think people that grew up in Chatham are issued at a certain age. And I just remember looking out the windshield while she's standing on the hood in the pouring rain. Like, and I was like, I think she'd be fun to be in a band with. I like, if we could have a good time doing this, then I think we could have a good time doing anything. So yeah, when Wanted Dead or Alive was like the perfect song for her to play in that moment, because it was like, there's Richie Sambora, like this is what I needed. And she was great to hang out with. So yeah, it worked out really nicely. It was a total audition from I didn't really want to hang out with her otherwise, but I figured.
I think you can see here that Kate was always destined for greatness. So it's a picture from our childhood. I've got the terrible bangs. She's got the adorable pigtails.
And that's the guy by the pumpkin. That's my brother.
That's correct. Starting his career in construction very, very young.
Were we trying to trap something here?
Probably.
Trying to lure an animal in with a pumpkin.
I think you were trying to trap that kid.
Dave. Yeah, we got him.
Trying to trap Davey. Yeah,
with a pumpkin.
Yeah, well, Davey still to this day
he loves a pumpkin. Loves
evidently. Yes, I think you can see what we would all become in this motto. So let's talk about the name, because did you ever have a moment when you were like, this fun inside joke has now become a band name? Do people still get it? Should we change it? Like, you've been with it this whole time, or did you just always know this was meant to be?
That was a struggle. I mean, I think it's always a struggle to come up with a band name, and we had a few on the list, and then I believe that was a placeholder. So the name Sidewalk Driver refers to a shift at Boston Duck Tours where you're like on call. You're like the AAA driver. You stand by with a spare duck, and if someone breaks down or someone gets sick and can't finish their shift or whatever it is, you're kind of there for just in case situation.
Great way to just relax and write songs and not have to really work. It was that kind of a shift. Yeah.
Exactly. At first you're like, I'm going to be bored all day. And then all of a sudden you get into it and you're like, please don't let me have to do anything. It becomes really nice to sit around. But that's
you're like hucked in, parked by the Charles
I don't want to paint the fence right now.
Taking a nap. Yeah.
So
it's cool.
I was going to just jump in and say the whole duck tour thing, because a whole bunch of us know what we're talking about, and a bunch of us are also probably going, what are they saying? Mm-hmm. So these 1940s World War II amphibious vehicles that are like part boat, part motor vehicle that you could drive are in some of the major cities in the United States used to provide very expensive tours to tourists, wherein which people like Kate and Tad were encouraged to lie about historic points in Boston and also occasionally put some truth in. And then at some point in the tour, allow absolutely unqualified people to drive a large World War II vessel, possibly at risk of smashing into landmarks that were integral, like bridges by over MIT and all that, with the vehicle. This is what a duck tour is, in case you guys don't know.
Wow, someone's got a beef with.
Yeah, that sounds like a little hostile.
2005 Boston Duck Tours Major Tom Foolery was my driver, and so should one know him. Incredible tour, because he said at the very beginning of this, approximately 50% of what I'm going to tell you is completely fake, and I was like, this is the best tour I've ever been on in my life. And I still quote things he gave me that could also be false, just FYI.
I'm convinced. We can't blame Major tomfoolery for this. Like, you make stuff up constantly.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of jokes, but it should be pretty evident that, like, you know, the guy who fired the first shot was not actually named Nigel, you know.
Right. And I take umbrage with the fact that these are for tourists, because I myself went on one, the very best one, with you, and it was so good. It put my kid to sleep like immediately. Yes. And he missed the whole thing. Yeah,
that's the goal. But yeah, that's where we met. Boston Duck Tours. 3 of us were at the company, and Tad and AJ are still there. I'm no longer driving ducks, but that was the birth of our.
Not even for like emergencies. I feel like you're the one that goes into retirement, and then they're like, "Oh no, the president's in town and he needs a duck tour," and "Oh no, no one else is available. Come on,
I thought about that. I've imagined
that
scenario, and I'm ready. I'm ready to go at any moment. I did actually leave once and then go back, and it was like 3.5, 4 years in between, and it was shocking how pretty much instantly it all came back. It was like muscle memory.
The history of Boston.
I was like, I'm not going to remember anything, and then I just launched into my full tour, and I'm like, how these words were just like coming out.
So I want to shift back to music. I have a question, because there are some fairly damned legendary Boston bands. I mean, we said the Cars already, Aerosmith, those kinds of guys. But I also think of bands like the Mighty Mighty Bosstones, which one of the times I saw them was at what was City Club at the time I saw them, near and around New Year's. And at one point, the crowd was getting a little unruly. And at one point, Dickie Barrett, to the pleasure of nobody who worked in that club, said, "Hey, everyone, come get on stage," which was the worst idea. And so a few hundred people, of course, crowd the stage and flood it. It is security misery. Everything falls apart shortly and immediately thereafter. You go toe-to-toe with them in those ways. Like, you are considered an exciting show, the way people say the Mighty Mighty Bosstones are an exciting show. How do you get to that? Because they have a lot of horns, you do not. They have band numbers. They have like 71 people in their band. How do you go toe-to-toe with the Mighty 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 Bosstones?
I don't know if we do, but no, I mean, I think we have a lot of energy in our shows, and I know, you know, I really enjoy the experience of being on stage and singing, and I love the chaos of an audience and the chaos of that whole situation. So there's really like, it's a fantastic state of being when you're on stage singing your own songs in front of people who love them. Like, it's really, I recommend it. But yeah, I mean, I just, you know, it's all about kind of getting that chaos going and having and riding that wave and having fun with it.
I think we try to. Oh, I mean, I don't know if we try. We just sort of naturally strike this balance right from the get-go. There was always this balance of taking music seriously, you know, being very particular about how we wanted to arrange a song, craft it and perfect it and all of that, and perform it well, but not take ourselves seriously. So when we're up there and it looks like we're having fun up there, we really are, like, you know, and part of the reason we're able to do that is because we can be relaxed enough, having worked really hard at, like, you know, getting everything pretty locked in and tight. We can then free up that brain bandwidth to just have fun. And that does a lot of things. One, it makes it more fun for us. It's contagious. The audience has fun. And it becomes really clear that I think people like to see a band that doesn't take themselves too seriously, and that, because it's like, okay, they don't think they're like too cool for school. Sometimes we go out and play to a new crowd. So the kind of aesthetic of the band is the band, we all, the instrumentalists, wear all black, and Tad, our lead singer, is very, you know, I call it his plumage. He's in some cases,
I like that.
feathers,
Thank you.
sparkly, all kinds of stuff. And it's a very glammy kind of look. And I think if people don't know us, they might look at that and think, like, who does this guy think?
As you can see, my front man dresses up not at all. He's wearing like a professor sweater.
Yeah.
Well,
but
people don't realize that's a
it's
fake
working though, Chris.
beard and wig he's wearing.
He's got to shop at the Walmart after
Like
this.
a professorial look. It works. But you know, and then Tad gets up there, and it becomes very apparent immediately that he's a total goofball, and like it's fun and funny, and it's a lot of the lyrics are funny and tongue in cheek, and just, you know, we bring that levity and balance it with, like, you know, getting it locked in and tight.
There's something magical about live performances, because I'm a theater kid, like all the theater kids know this, but it's different from being in movies or doing any kind of recorded thing, because you get energy back, which doesn't normally happen. You know, in recordings, people might love you, but you don't, you know, you hear about it many months later. So it's draining, but it's exciting. How do you keep it going for as long as you've kept it going? And were there any bumps in the road, and how did you overcome them? Like, how is this still a thing 22 years in?
Well, I'd say as far as like the live performing goes, having a band is great because you always have each other, and there are so many things that we do that are just to entertain each other, like on stage. And, you know, it's like you've always got your friends with you. So if you're playing in a place you've never been, in front of a room of people who don't know you, you have these great friends with you on stage, and you have jokes and you have things that are funny, and that it always makes it something you look forward to doing, right? Regardless of how the crowd or how big the crowd may be on that particular night. Like, you know, like you're here with your friends, you're going to laugh about it, you're going to have fun. Like I said, it's Kate standing on the hood of the duck in the rain, right? Like like that kind of thing can happen metaphorically when you're in a band for a long time and on stage.
The Spinal Tap moments.
Yeah, and we do have rules, like, you know, performance rules, where there was a time I remember we were doing like a show around Christmas, and I purchased a inflatable nativity scene. So like it had like an inflatable manger, a little inflatable Jesus, and all the animals and the wise men, and it was, you know,
What could go wrong?
top notch performance value. But then
Stage
of course,
crowd.
like, yeah, some point in the show, like I'm throwing Jesus to the crowd, and the wise men are everywhere, and which is really fun. But then everyone's like, oh, we're going to throw them back. And for me, I'm like, well, this is great fun. I get to dodge all this stuff. But like poor Kate and like John and Jared, who are having to play their instruments and also sing into a microphone, they can't, and they're not as agile as me too. I did study Aikido for a little while when I was younger, so I'm very, very fast. But, you know, they're getting pelted with all these things. And so and I loved it. I was like, come on, that was great. And then there was a couple other times where we, you know, had like little beach balls and stuff, but the same thing would happen. So we had to make a rule, like, okay, we can't just give the audience stuff to throw at us.
That's a good rule, I think.
Yeah,
Don't provide weapons.
Right, of course, they always bring their own rotten fruit and, you know, lettuce and tomato. That always happens. There's nothing we can do about that, but we just don't want to arm them with these things.
That's showbiz.
Well, I was just thinking about the fact that Kim Gordon, Sonic Youth, 72 years old, just put out another album. And it is, if you love Kim Gordon, it is exactly what you love. If you don't love Kim Gordon from Sonic Youth just put out a new album. And I'm in the middle of that. So you are working on a new album. It's very different. Like I got 10 or more years ago, I just realized I went backstage with Clutch and I was like, oh, I have made it. There's going to be cocaine everywhere. Clearly this is going to be the coolest night of my life. And literally what we talked about was which apps we had on our phones. And it was, you know, late 40s, early 50s people who were thrilled that they were babysitters for the night. And they got the worst pizza in Boston. And I was like, how can you be a Boston band and got this pizza? I can't divulge who, but new album. What's the energy? What's the mindset? How do you go, everybody loves my faces then, now we have to do a thing, but it can't be, you know, Weezer's made some stumbles on the way. How do you make the album they're going to want to rock to, but still kind of keep your new stuff? There's a lot. See what I'm saying? That's like a salad of thought right there.
It's thought salad.
There's a question in there somewhere. Can you guys find it?
Goddamn new album.
Well, it's been a while since our last album for, you know, various and sundry reasons. Like, well, to answer one of your earlier questions, Kerry, like, how do we keep it going and play, you know, doing live shows and all that? Part of the way we're able to do it is that, you know, we release an album every 10 years, we play every,
Pace yourself.
at our
Pace
busiest,
yourself.
it's maybe one show a month. So, it's not like we're out doing this crazy grind, touring constantly and all that, which is a grind. We have friends who do that and have done that. Some of them are a little bit younger, so they're able to keep it going. But as far as the album, we have been playing basically half of this album. So there's 10 songs on this album, and 5 of them are songs we've been playing, a few of them for several years now. So half of the album we've been able to work out live, figure out the arrangements, see what works, get it really tight and clear, so that when we went into the studio, we were really ready to go. We knew exactly how to map it out and how to start tracking like very efficiently. And then the other half of the album, this was different for us. We kind of wrote while we were recording. So we were figuring stuff out as we were putting down tracks. Like, okay, now let's add this part and that part, which presents the kind of inverse issue where now we have to go back, and we're currently figuring out how to arrange those songs for live performance, which is
Do they have placeholder lyrics? Some of them?
No, they're all written. They all have lyrics. That sometimes they are placeholder lyrics. Whether the written lyrics always come out of Tad's mouth but that's also true for songs that Tad wrote 25 years ago. So there's nothing.
It's living art. Living art.
Art is living and breathing.
Just fun to see who notices, I would imagine.
It is actually, because you'll see it in the crowd. But some people are just like, they have no idea, and they're like, "Yeah," and then other people are like, "Those are."
For the record, this conversation makes it sound like I get up there and just babble my way through. I'm right at least 60% of the time.
Look, some people make a whole speaker career all over the world of getting up on stage and saying whatever the hell comes to mind. I've seen someone, and I'm not going to name them, but they're here now, complain about their hotel room from the stage for the event that paid for the room.
Well, it must have been
in my defense,
hotel room.
There wasn't a bed. All right, just in the realm of things that one might expect in a hotel room, there wasn't a bed, nor a shower, which, we've all done it. We've all done the sink shower.
So this was just a room. It's just an empty room?
It was a concept room, to which I asked the question to the employees, is the concept no fun? Is the concept it's not all right to sleep here? I didn't get it. Anyway, look, we got to get out of here. Dumb show's done. I got to hit some buttons, though, because I kind of forgot a few buttons. So, hey, look at this. Chloe is one of our sponsors. Chloe does Notion and is the best in the whole wide world at it. I've never met anyone better. She's one of their top people that they refer people to, even though she's not badged Notion. They just say, you just go with her because she's smarter. Businessops.co/backpack is where you can get your free starter guide. Our other sponsor, Fausia Burke, is she was a book publisher for a very long, a book promoter for a very long time, and has now also started showing people how to use AI to help with your writing and promoting of your books as well. So she has a really nifty newsletter. You can go to fausiaburke.substack.com. We have come to the part of the show where we say,
oh, and here's our person of the day. Kaboom!
And I guess I will say we'll give it to Jackie, because she said she wanted to take a duck tour now that we kind of turned her on to it. She's out in California. There's probably like Sacramento or one of those places has a duck tour. I don't know, one of those things. We have to ask a question. Got to go to Boston. It's the best set. Come on. Chicago has it.
I thought that first ad said your nation starter kit.
Oh God!
Also true.
I got
Who
so
hasn't
excited.
Thought about
I was
starting
like,
their own country?
Sign me up.
Where do I start?
I've got ideas. I've got plans. Let's go.
We'll just go take over, I don't know, Rentham and make our country there. Okay.
No one takes over Rentham.
Oh, that's a good point.
Or Swampscott.
Is a good
No.
point.
Weymouth. Never.
Tad
This is the show now. Gloucester.
Yeah.
Didn't SNL just reasonably recently do this, or maybe it was Jimmy Fallon, where Fallon and like I don't know Matt Damon or somebody all had to name all Boston towns all in alphabetical order so that they knew what they were. Let's get out of here quick.
Okay.
Listen, we come to the part of the show where we have to ask you a question, which is, what would you add to the backpack? So it could be something physical, like I don't know, an axe. It could be something metaphorical, like sorrow. Kerry, what's a good physical thing you could add to a backpack?
Extra set of teeth. DJ Cumberbund from YouTube added an extra set of teeth to the backpack because, as he put it, you just never know.
How about something metaphorical? Anything for that?
Burlesque performer Ariel Helvetica added kindness to the backpack. And at the time, I laughed, but not at her. It was unrelated, but I did laugh.
So how about we have Kate and Tad add one thing each to the backpack? What do you have for us, Kate?
I'm gonna add snacks because you need them. Keep going. You got to get that protein.
Do you have a go-to for this?
Just a jar of peanut butter. It's just.
Welcome to my life. That's the Teddy's?
No, I like a Teddy's, but I'm an organic peanut butter girly, and the Teddy organic is tough to find.
Teddy's in Everett, so I don't know how organic that could be. Tad, what do you got? What can we add to the backpack for you?
I would say like a medium-sized disco ball full of Advil. Yeah, maybe with like a little top you can.
So it's like a
move,
cat treat thing dispenser?
Kind of, yeah.
Advil?
Yeah, for rockers over 40, you know what I mean? You just got, it's kind of bouncing around, and then, an Advil comes out. Great.
With like a little bit of Ben Gay. Keep your ankles going on stage.
Yeah.
Well, I do like
that.
that the person who showed up late to the show, my dad says, "Oh, and now that the fun's starting, now you're going to wrap it up." Thanks, Pops. He's like a rocker in his own right. He was out gambling and came back, and now he's ready to see the rest of the show that he missed earlier. But I will say, he lives in Vegas. That's what they do out there. That's what you presume people do in Vegas. It's not true. He's a very balanced human entity. But I will say
before you start telling a story about your grandmother and then end the show abruptly, I have to say one thing. I have a story of my own. One time as a young child, as you saw earlier with us playing with a box, I got stuck on the roof because Kate's brother convinced me that going up on the roof of a neighboring house was both acceptable and a good idea. But once we were up there, I couldn't figure out how to get down from there. So we... True story, by the way. So Kate's dad had to come